Hello, everyone, and welcome to the wrap-up show, day 14 in the books here at St. Vincent College. Our wrap-up show today brought to you by the UPMC Health Plan. I'm Mike Prisuta, and I'll be joined today by Craig Wolfley to sum things up. But before we get to that, it's time to take it down to the playing surface at Chuck Noll Field and welcome George Pickens to our show. George, are you aware of the show you're putting on out here each and every day in training camp?
I kind of just put in the same work. I kind of know now, that game coming up, game time coming up. I kind of want to, critique my skills.
Well, let's start with 7 shots today. I know one conversion in the 2-point drill for sure on a fade for Mitch Trubisky. I thought you had 2, but it looked like Mike Tomlin was saying, no, you were out of bounds on the second one. Give me your version of what happened on that 4th rep.
Yeah, on my version is I caught the ball. I feel like on that play they gave it to the defense, but I feel like I caught the ball.
Are you thinking maybe Mike Tomlin doesn't want you getting too much credit too soon? People are talking about you every day here. Maybe just keep the rookie down a little bit for the time being.
Yeah, that's kind of I kind of like that way because being humble really the best way.
Now, a bunch of us had interviewed you about a week and a half ago in front of the locker room, and you said at the time you were not aware of all the nice things your teammates have been saying about you. Are you aware now? Because they're talking about you every day as well.
I guess. I mean, I kind of see him every day, so I'm kind of still unaware. But I guess to you guys are aware.
And we also heard, speaking of your teammates, we heard from safety Carl Joseph yesterday. He said you're doing a lot of talking out on the field during practice. Is that your habit, and what are you saying?
I just like to compete. So, if that involves talking, if that involves, winning the rep, whatever I got to do to win.
2 catches on fades today, somewhat of a similar play yesterday at the end of that 2-minute drill. Do you often tip the ball with one hand and catch it with the other hand one-handed?
I often do that a lot. I just know how to make plays, and that's what I try to do to the best of my ability.
Has this gone kind of as you anticipated, your first rookie training camp?
I never really anticipated it because I can't, I can't see in the future. I just put in the hard work and let it pay off. And
last thing for you, George, how excited are you to play Seattle in Pittsburgh on Saturday night?
I'm very excited, just to be out there with my own teammates. So, yeah, I'm kind of stoked up.
George, really appreciate your time. Try to show us a little something moving forward, will you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wolf, I don't know if you're as impressed as I am, but I haven't seen anything like this in quite a while. The impact that he is having, not just from a production standpoint, but it's artistic.
There's no question about it, Mike. One of the things that you look at this young man and what he's capable of doing is you see the tremendous coiling power that he calls upon the moment he snaps off the line of scrimmage. I mean, he just drops weight to center down low and is able to dig coming out. Does a great job of that when he comes out of his cuts. You see right here, man, you can see him just running and then boom, going into his turns and coming out and being able to make the catch. And the thing that I love is it's usually very smooth from the catch to the tuck. Protects the ball, does a good job of those things. Fundamentally, he's pretty sound. Overall, you look at him and go, wow, this kid is really something special. You got to be careful. I know it's it's early, but boy, he looks like he'd be special.
And, we're seeing him do it against some pretty big-time players. The ridiculous catch he made yesterday in 2 minutes was at the expense of Levi Wallace. I've been there, done that cornerback.
Right.
The first fade in 7 shots today was over Cam Sutton. Again, pretty good player. And the last one, I'm with Pickens. I thought he came down inbounds. You don't think Mike Tomlin would try to manipulate the goings-on for his own purposes at camp?
Manipulate those things for his purpose? No, of course, yes. No, there's no doubt about it. Look, I can understand. He's making it look easy is what he's doing, and you love that about him. Pickens is really this type of special talent. When you see guys that can do it and make it look like it's easy, that really lets you know that, okay, there's something here that the Steelers got. They've got something special with this young guy. His ability to drop his hips, you can watch it on the screen, man, and drive out of those cuts. The way he's got that length, that catch radius to go up and catch. man, he's just got so many pluses working for him.
Yeah, and it's not just the down the field stuff. He told us, again, in that interview we did, there was, I don't know, 8 or 10 of us about a week and a half ago. He said he wants to play like a little guy, even though he's a big guy. He wants to have that ability to be a water bug type and manipulate the middle of the field in the short areas as well as get deep.
Exactly, and he's shown that ability. I mean, he catches the ball in tight quarters. He's very much a competitor in the combat space, to be able to go up and get the ball. His ability, like you talked with him about, when he said, I put one hand, tap it to the other. Okay, you know, I mean, I couldn't catch it with 2 hands.
I do this. Yeah, no, that was basically.
I do this. Yeah, basically that's what I do. And you got to marvel at that, and you think about it and go, wow, this kid is really coming on. And I'm looking forward to seeing him in the opener, you know, against Seattle, and then where he goes from there. But obviously, he's really got some things that are going to make you sit up and go, or ha, like Myron. Ha.
A home and a ha. A little housekeeping to catch you up on some transactions. The Steelers waived injured linebacker Ulysses Gilbert III and have added Hamilcar Rashed off waivers from the Jets. He's 6'4", 235 pounds, 1 career game. That was with the Jets last year. Mike Tomlin talked a little bit about Rashed this morning as a guy that the Steelers were aware of at Oregon State. He had 14 sacks as a junior. And then also today, wide receiver Christian Blake, 6'1", 181 pounds. He's out of Northern Illinois, undrafted, initially spent 2018 through 2021 with Atlanta, 28 catches for 257 yards. Also spent a little time in the Cardinals organization this past offseason. Wide receiver Javon McKinley waived injured to make room for Blake. Interesting that Rashad actually got into practice today, Wolf, a few reps.
He did. I mean, he just arrived today, I believe. You know, I mean, it's not like he had an opportunity to, like, settle in and get acquainted with what's going on. He was here and he was in.
Talk about jumping on a moving train.
Yes.
Interesting drill today. I don't know what they call it, but they put a bunch of cones down on the field in close proximity to the sideline, so it was a tight area, kind of like the old Oklahoma thing that you guys used to do. Right. And then they had a running back or receiver with back to the defender, catch a toss, turn around, and then bang. And the crowd was eating that up.
They were. Now, I was over, of course, with the Hogs. I got to watch the guys, the Hogs going past pro and so forth. But there was a lot of oohing and on coming from that area of the field, which I surmised that it was very competitive, very combative, and it's certainly breaking down the aspects that you need to. You know, it's interesting. I was sitting with Brian Baldinger through a lot of them from the NFL Network, and he was remarking that he's been to a lot of NFL camps. He's not seen anything like the physicality that the Steelers employ here in the drills, the tackling, live tackling, stuff like that. It doesn't go on in other places.
Yeah, a couple of the highlights, and it was a bigger crowd today because it was the traditional 1:55 start time. Didn't have to jump ahead of impending weather today. But Minkah Fitzpatrick lit up Gunnar Olszewski. Now, Minkah probably should, given the respective heights and weights. But, you know, Olszewski battled. Fitzpatrick won the rep and then got up and gave him a little tap. The crowd loved that. But the three-rounder, as it were, running back Master Teague against inside linebacker Mark Robinson. Teague resoundingly won the first rep. Robinson came back and got him on the ground on the second. So a third rep was required. Now, I don't know who won this one. Teague was trying to spin out of the tackle and lunging. Did the knee go all the way down? Of course, the defensive guys watching were pounding the turf saying he was down. I'm not sure what the official ruling was, but it was great theater and great competition.
Well, that's exactly what you're hoping for. Look, we are going into a stadium in a couple of days, Acrisure Stadium. All these guys, yes, it is, and all these young guys, the rookies, all right, they're all wondering, do I have what it takes to be able to go out there and compete on the big stage? Am I capable of doing this? Now, of course, they're going to answer you when you ask them, yes, I am. But there's that little bit of question mark in everybody's mind. And until they get out there, until they experience the thrill of being on the big stage with some of the big NFL performers, they're always going to have that little question mark. And so this is something that's just ramping up that adrenaline, that attitude as they go into and prepare for this game. And it's about bringing your best because remember, you only got 3 preseason games. You've been cut short a game, and the ability to display your resume on tape is going to be shortened by a little bit.
You know, we've started talking about undrafted running back Jalen Warren as soon as the pads came on, because that's when he really started to make a name for himself. I just wrote down an 830 with an exclamation point. He's popping all over the place.
He is. You really see this young man. Notice the thick thighs, okay? I mean, you see a guy that's obviously spent a lot of time in the weight room. He's got the powerful ham hocks, the ability to play from a low center, use his pads in a fashion, in a way that he can run behind his pads. That means a low center. You can see him right now protecting the ball and lowering his center of gravity. That guy with that power is going to be able to do some serious stuff when he's able to rip it through and get to that second level. The first guys up front, the Hogs, they got to get him to that second level, because this guy here, every time you see him get through the line of scrimmage, it looks like something good's about to happen. This is a young man, I think, who's got a nice trajectory upward.
Yeah, he had a nice series of reps today. One of them went for 15 or 16 yards, then a couple more where he was moving the pile, gaining positive yardage, falling forward. Finally, Mike Tomlin said, that's enough, get him out. And it was a good, that's enough. He had seen enough.
He is ready to go, Mike. I want to see him on the big stage. I think there's a couple guys I really want to see come Saturday night. 30 and also 26, because 26 been popping too, that being Anthony McFarland. You know, you've seen this young man come out and now put together some explosive runs, and you see that great speed, and all of a sudden, you know, you look at that and go, this is what we were hoping to see a couple of years ago when he first arrived on, quote, on campus. The guy looks like he's got tremendous strength in his lower body. I want to see if he can display it when the big stage hits Saturday night.
Maybe he just needed to get on campus.
Maybe that's it. That could be the touch that kick-started it all, man.
And one other guy I want to talk about a little bit, Master Teague, who's another recent addition, running back from Ohio State. When Mike Tomlin said, I've seen enough of Jalen Warren, he called for Master Teague, and he ended up popping a big one at the end of that team run. Wolf, I thought that was clearly the best team run for the offense, for the line. There's
no question. I think that if anything's going on in the lunchroom, you know, where maybe some of the good food is being given to some of the top performers there, say offense or defense, well, I think they're getting used to it, and they like it. And they don't want the, maybe the swordfish that's 3 days old. They would like a little bit of the, lamb chops. You got king crab,
steak, lobster tails.
Why not? I mean, once you get a taste of that, who wants to go back, right?
You were the first guy to bring that to our attention right here on one of these very programs. I'm curious, what do you think the response is? I talked to Dan Moore about it, and he said, hey, it's great. It gives you something to look forward to. It gives you something to work harder for. You come out on the wrong end of that, you're going to be a little not pleased, correct?
Well, exactly so, but it does add that element of competitiveness and combativeness that is parcel of what training camp is all about. Yeah, I want to be out there with the lobster. I want to be out there with all the goodies and the good stuff coming along that's on the winning side. And each unit to have that competitiveness between the two units is only going to make them better. Your defense is going to be stronger for it. Your offense is going to be stronger for it. Maybe a little fatter for it, but hey, they work it off here.
We got a game coming up. You excited?
I am so excited. This is something, I go back 42 years. 42 years ago, I came here, and I remember sitting in that dorm, looking at my first game and thinking about it and going, wow, it's really here. Everything that I've ever worked for in my life, all the times that I played a game on Friday at high school, Saturday in college, and then watched the pros on Sunday, now I'm here to play with those pros. And it was such a big moment. I remember my first game at Three Rivers and standing in the players' tunnel before we went out and feeling the electricity, the adrenaline of the fans pounding through the wall as I stood there and looking around and seeing Joe Green and Jack Lambert and Jack Ham and Mike Webster and John Kolb, all these legends. And then you think, I can't believe I'm here. This is incredible. So this is a big moment for all these young guys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. The expectations haven't changed, but a lot of the names haven't. I think there's a little more unresolved this time around going into the preseason, particularly the quarterback position, for example. And that's got me looking at Seattle at Pittsburgh on Saturday night in a different light than I usually look at that preseason opener. That is going to do it for us. Thanks for finding us. For Craig Wolfley, I'm Mike Prisuta. This has been the Wrap-Up Show brought to you by the UPMC Health Plan.